a whole entire mess of Easter eggs, the Tartiflette games are back, and a massive question for all the riders out there. Are you digging this game's vibe? Welcome to the Riders Report, Episode 3. Today's episode is brought to you by our YouTube members. Thank you as always to executive producers Bonecrusher2D and Coach34, along with co-producers It's the Mort and Mitch's mom, and our fans and Fans Plus. If you'd like to become a member and help support the channel, hit join down below for cool perks like early access to the shows, emojis and badges, exclusive Discord roles, members-only content, sneak peeks, and more.
The mystery has finally been solved. Well, one of the mysteries in Riders Republic. There are plenty of Easter eggs to unearth. The first one revolving around the teleporting doors that take you all around the map. People have finally found the fourth door. You may have seen us all over Twitter and Instagram trying to crack the case. Once you complete all 4 doors, you unlock a special funky bike and a title for your rider. But there is still more to discover. There are the mystery mines, the aim here spots, and plenty more. So if you want to join in the hunt, you can look up Riders Republic Secrets on Reddit and Discord to join the community. This Saturday, the Tartiflette Games Beta Best Trick will debut on our YouTube channel. We have 12 riders competing for the best 5 to 20 second clip from the beta. I've only watched a few tricks, but they are insane, so tune in to see who will take home that gold medal, and we'll have some announcements about the first competitions you can do in Riders Republic. We also have some firsts in the game coming from some very familiar faces. First off, we have Bonecrusher2D, the executive producer himself. Highly recommend checking out both his Twitch and his YouTube because he is the first player to get all of the secondary objectives complete on every challenge in the game. He's a madman. You can watch him stream and do all of that. They've also got the multiplayer tricks battles down, him and his crew. So if you want to see how to dominate that mode, just go watch him. I can't believe someone already got there. Speaking of that, we have Nate Hotshot, the first player to reach 7,000 stars, which how many stars are you at?
I don't want to talk about it
because I'm at 1,000 and I still haven't played that much. It's 7,000 is insane. I know you can grind out some challenges, but still, that's some commitment. He has that mask with the smoke coming out, all of the unlocks that you get. I believe that's the furthest unlock that's on the career path timeline on stars. So he's already reached it. So what more can you look for? I'm sure he'll be the first to get everything that you get whenever stuff is added on.
Oh, for sure.
And finally reaching some big numbers. Today, as of recording, Steep has finally hit 100,000 subs. His video is also up celebrating that. Man has some awesome stuff. He's been getting some stuff from Level 1 and X Games and other creators. So if you just want to watch some awesome skiing content and Riders Republic stuff, go check him out.
You know, sometimes when a brand new video game comes out, especially one that you've been covering for the better part of 2 years before the release, sometimes that hype, you get caught up in the hype and you absolutely love this game and forget that some other people might not love this game as much as you do. And Cole Henry on forthewin.com via USA Today had some words to say in opposition. But that just prompted the main topic of today. Do you generally like this game's vibe?
Yeah, I do. I know I paused for a second. I do enjoy it. I have seen both the article and other people in the community, Reddit, Discord, talking, it's a little over the top, more kind of aimed towards kids, the shiznizzle, the shiznit, the character voice acting is over the top, and it's just, I've skipped it because I've already watched it once or twice and I don't care too much about that, but I still enjoy it. I think it fits the theme that they're going for with this Riders Republic, and he does cover that in the article that, they try to create this idea or this world where all of the action riders took over the national parks essentially and are just having a massive party. And he doesn't like that, but I like that. I think that's such a cool idea, something unique, and it is along Ubisoft's lines. So they can it lets them breathe more life and do more creative things with this game in the future. So I like the vibe. I'm digging the vibe.
Yeah. And, this is also, I mean, this could have been coming from expectations that he and other people that are, saying that this game isn't the vibe that they were hoping for. They could have been in the camp that was expecting a Steep 2 or some kind of mountain bike simulation, which Steep wasn't a direct simulation, but you know what I mean. It was not
Hmm.
as arcadey. It wasn't as just sit down and play it. You kind of invested your time into it to become immersed, and you're enjoying the physics. You're enjoying how the game feels and how close to real you can get. But some of the claims that he was making seemed to kind of stretch away from the gameplay and more about the user interface and the storylines, like you were saying, which I don't think, that is a part of the vibe, but I'm not taking that into account as much, and I think we are along the same lines where we are expecting a fun game. We're in it for the sports. We're not really in it for the storyline, right? We're in it for the competitions and the creators, see what people can do using and abusing this new map and this new world. But I just don't think that is an overall that I don't think that's a fair representation of the game, and that's a fair overall review of the game. This is just the biggest example of someone not super enjoying the game. I haven't seen a bunch other than like mass races and the inventory in the store. But just based on the vibe, like I'm really enjoying it, not looking too deep into it.
Yeah, some of the stuff he talked about was that the older games like MX vs ATV, Tony Hawk came out in the 2000s. They were out there. That was action sports back then, was over the top Red Bull, chugging monsters, doing gnarly tricks, posting bails online, and crashes being almost as popular as landing actual insane tricks. And now the sports have moved towards a more technical side, so that's what he wants. But this game isn't doing that. He said the controls handle well. They do handle pretty well. It's so much fun to play the bike. But with Ubisoft, I think they need to go out there and, you can't just do a realistic game. That's going to come from a smaller studio. Like you mentioned, Skater XL, Descenders, those realistic games aren't going to appeal to a mass audience. And what Ubisoft needs with this game, and I think frankly what the franchise needs to keep this kind of game coming from a AAA studio, is for a lot of people to buy in. So you're not trying to just attract the hardcore sports people who do those sports today. You're trying to get them with the controls. We like the bikes, we like the skis. It's not as much as steep, but we like doing the technical stuff. But then the game can still appeal to the 8-year-olds who buy probably 40% of this game because it's so over the top and wacky and colorful and loud and noisy. And so you aren't trying to focus in on a small crowd. You're trying to get maybe like 50% of each crowd and just get a ton of people.
Right. And the vibe is exactly like it's exactly what you just said. It is for the younger kids. The riding and everything else, what you can make it as an adult rider, you make the game for yourself. The open world gives you the ability to do what you want and create your own style. But all of the shiz whizzle and all of those fun little lines and stuff, that's not for us.
No.
That's a hard pill to swallow with how well this game looks, how well it controls, and the gameplay is fantastic. But that is a hard pill to swallow when you're expecting one thing and it is giving you another. One of the suggestions in that article, just mute your TV. But, again, I think you're missing a lot of what the game is trying to breathe that life into it. Do you need it? No, but,
I think part of that too, once you actually play a lot of it, especially once you get through the Riders Ridge Invitational, you're not getting much dialogue anymore. And maybe as you level up some of your careers, but you're not listening to Brett every hour, like every 2 hours. I maybe hear him once every 3 days when I actually finish a lot of stuff in the career progression. And you hear him a lot in the tutorials. So, I mean, once you get past that, it's fine. You can turn down the dialogue. You can just skip that stuff. I know sometimes it's just still a lot to listen to. And even the music too. He didn't like some of the songs. There are like 5 radio stations in the game, and I don't think people know that much. When you play challenges and mass races, it does pick that music for you, and it is a lot of the same stuff. It's the first radio station that is in the game. It just uses a lot of those songs. So getting a lot of Green Day, a lot of Offspring, but they want to hype you up. There's a classical radio station. There's like a hip hop funky type station, which I like to listen to. There's a classical music station if you want that instead. So you can go into the tools and actually change the radio station and change the song. And I like most of the soundtrack. He doesn't. That's all personal preference. They're not going to pick a soundtrack that everyone's going to love 100%, but there's a lot of options in there for you.
Yeah, and that segues perfectly into what I think our discussion next week should be, which is the music of Riders Republic. Both of us being musicians, I feel like that is just a fantastic lead into our main topic next week. I would love to ask everyone out there to submit their favorite songs and everything. Let us know what you are listening to on the mountain. Yeah, like you said, not a whole lot of people know that there are multiple radio stations. I have been on Spotify on the Riders Republic soundtrack. Ubisoft Music has the entire playlist uploaded, including the one-off tracks, the songs that were explicitly composed for the video game, along with all of the cover tracks. So Wiz Khalifa, Green Day, all of the rest. But yeah, I mean, sorry, I jumped away from the initial question and where we were going there, but I just wanted to put a bookmark in that. Have to touch on this music soon.
Yeah, and the one thing I do want to talk about in the article, I mean, people can have their opinions. There's just one I just find out there and just wrong to me is
Go off,
that
Queen.
is that he talks about, corporations taking over and sponsorships and big brands being in there, and his skateboarding community, trying to support other skateboarders, small companies. You don't want the giants coming in and just selling it cheap. But he specifically mentioned that Riders Republic falls prey to this because, so he's not saying 90% for sure, but he says because 90% of the game's events are sponsored by big brands. I think there's 5 boss events per sport, which each have 15 to 25 events. 5 of the 25 are boss events, which are the sponsor events. So that's, Matt, 20% of the events. And if you are one of those action sports people in real life, you're building up to get to those events, just like the career mode in the game is doing. So you have to do these no-name challenges around the Forest of Sequoia, fun stuff. And then, hey, you got invited by Fox to do the Fox downhill thing, or you got Red Bull. Why can't I think of any of the names now? Red Bull Line Catcher, Red Bull District Ride. Those are supposed to be the pinnacle of riders' careers. And that's what the game is doing. So I just didn't like that part of the article. And kind of takes away from the rest of the article to me too, because if he's throwing that out there, then it's, just coming from a weird place.
Yeah. I mean, the more you look into this article, the more it seems like this person was watching the trailers, played maybe the first hour or two of gameplay, and then decided to go online and write for a major news article about a AAA game that just released. There was something that came up on Reddit about that as well, where they were kind of upset that reviewers weren't giving the game a fair shake, and some of the articles that have come out have been a little negative. Not even negative, just a little cold. The reception has been a little bit cold. No one really knows what to do with this. And all of the hardcore guys are already in this game playing it. So yeah, like you said, this has to appeal to the 8-year-olds. So YouTube channels and everything else, they really have to start picking up playtime. Twitch streamers have to start picking up viewers. But, this game is off to a wonderful start. It's just, it sucks that some certain reviews are coming out like this. So, this is just, we have been discussing this all week. A few of the subscribers have been discussing this with us throughout the week. Figured we would touch on this article and just get a general feel of our audience and how they're digging the vibe of this game. So really interested to see what you thought about this article and your thoughts on the game so far.
Yeah, and it's been getting some good reviews. They started to come out. People weren't reviewing it because it's obviously an online game, and Ubisoft was telling reviewers, wait until the servers hit so you can fully experience the game. I think it had a smooth launch. There wasn't, other than the Xbox stuff, sorry, Xbox, but get a PlayStation. There wasn't many problems with crashes and online. And I saw an 8 from IGN. I saw some other 8s, 9s, 7s. That's all really good for this game. And it's been getting a lot of awareness just from some of the crazy stuff you can do. So I think it's been a hit. I'm interested to see some sales numbers here, the sales chart for the month. October. It came out like the last few days of October, so maybe not that month, but after November, I'd be curious to see how it stacks up against some of the others.
No, I'm sure we will cover that once we start seeing some numbers, especially holiday. I think holiday is just going to boost this out of this world, but only time will tell. It's time again to dive into the weekly challenge. This is where we pick our favorite photos from that weekly challenge, which I believe this is the third week now that we have run the same challenge, and I think it is time to move on after this. But for right now, we have to pick our favorites. This week's album was, again, Welcome to the Republic, and this week we have a Battle of the Silhouettes.
Yeah, there are a couple new ones, but we love black and white, of course. And I'm going to take this one from Tiga. Oh. It is, I don't know what he's standing on top of. It's perfectly flat, maybe one of the signs, but he's got the colors all tweaked, so all you see is the black bottom and then the silhouette of his character with that duck mask that glows in nighttime. Love that, the teeth and the eyes, and then he's doing that fireball emoji fireball emote right at the moon and the stars. And I just love the skybox in this game, especially what you can crank out of photo mode. So this is just the perfect use where you can get the moon photos, and just a great use of silhouettes too.
Yeah, and look at the definition on the moon in that shot, too. I mean, all of this is just gorgeous, but we are putting this one up against none other than Liam Coleman, another first-time subscriber to the weekly challenges. This gorgeous, looks like a Backie over the moon, but again, timed perfectly. And to get something this framed up, this centered, just this perfect with the photo mode that we have right now is truly a task. So Liam, well done. Can't wait to see more action shots coming out of these new riders. And that's that milky moon in the background. Looks like they were taken on the same night, the way that the moon is showing in the game here. But yeah, see Liam going with a different night approach, completely different vibe, completely different feel to this photo, same concept.
Right? It's cool how you can get such different things out of the same sort of theme and idea. So love these. We also got some new photos from Teo Moreau. So welcome to the party. I can't wait to see more of his. His are sweet too. I think we said this was the last week for that. We should probably come up with another theme. So why don't we do something with the outfits in the game? So model off your outfits. We'll think of a cool title to name that, but just show off your favorite outfit or favorite combination you have in the game. And we'll have the link down below so you can submit your photos.
Can't wait. In other news and other content around Riders Ridge, Trial of the Ridge. If you have not done this yet, it is a technical stunt around Riders Ridge. It is just hairpin bike maneuvers. Sofex, and wow, I am so sorry. The Space Clump 360 completed Trial of the Ridge, that insane stunt, in 58 seconds. That's unhuman. That's ungodly.
Sofex, first up, you're challenged now by Nick, so you got to beat Space Clump 58 seconds just so we can go back and say he predicted that. But yeah, that challenge is crazy. I wanted to in the beta have a time trial just to see who could get the fastest. I don't know if you will, if you watch this run. He just goes so technical and does everything so perfectly. I'm not sure you could shave much more time off. Maybe if you stop doing a couple of tricks in between, but I mean, you got to get the style in there somewhere. So very impressive by Space Clump. We also had 2 little memes posted by Just Steep It. Highly recommend checking out his channel in these memes. I don't want to show them all right now, but he had Borat walking around the Riders Ridge and just, ooh, very nice, king of the castle, like all of that stuff. It's just him walking around the ridge and exploring. And he has another one up there too. He comes up with some of the funniest memes and cross references you can do in games. So just check those videos out.
That's going to do it for episode 3 of the Riders Report. We hope you enjoy those memes, and let us know if you can beat the Space Clump's time on Trial of the Ridge. Thank you so much for joining us for episode 3 of our guaranteed 100 episodes of the Riders Report. Special thank you, as always, goes out to our YouTube members, executive producers Bone Crusher 2D, Coach 34, co-producers It's the Mort and Mitch's mom, and of course, our fans and Fans Plus. If you'd like to become a member and help support our channel, you can hit join down below for cool perks like early access to the show, emojis, badges, member-only videos per month, sneak peeks, and more. You heard it once at the beginning, you're hearing it once at the end. We need your support. We appreciate your support, and we hope to do wonderful things with your support.
And you can also just subscribe to us to catch every episode of the Riders Report. And make sure to tune in to the Tartiflette Games beta best trick this weekend, because there's some insane stunts in there, and it will give you a preview of what we're going to be doing in Riders Republic, all of our crazy events. So either check the live stream to see it live and talk with us, or watch the replay so you know what to expect and you know what to do when you're trying to enter our next competition. You can also check us out on Instagram, Twitter, and of course our Discord server, where the party always lives on and we have some wacky discussions.
Thank you very much again for tuning in for episode 3. We'll see you this Saturday. I'm Nick.
And I'm Mitch.
And we'll see you on the slopes.